Once upon a time, an old tea seller opened his cart before sunrise. He chose this corner by the station so people could find him easily. He set the kettle on the flame and lined up the cups. He checked the coin pouch and the clean water container. He wanted the first customer to feel ready the moment they arrived. This was his routine, and it made the morning simple. He waited for the first customer. People walked by without slowing down. They glanced at the cart, then looked away. The sign was messy, and the message wasn't clear. Nothing on the cart explained why they should stop here. He felt ready to serve, but the street didn't feel ready for him. He looked at the board and knew it needed work. He kept standing there, calm and steady, watching the flow. He wanted to understand what was missing. The kettle kept a thin, steady steam. The coin tray stayed still. Then one traveler began to slow near the counter. He stopped at the counter and looked at everything in silence. He noticed the steam, the cups, and the messy sign. Watched the seller's hands and the way the cart was arranged. He did not place an order. He asked a simple question. Do you sell tea or do you sell care? The seller heard it clearly. He did not answer right away. The words stayed in his mind and felt important. He looked at the board and then at the traveler. He understood something needed to change. The traveler waited, calm, for what the seller would do next. The seller did not argue with the question. He began with what he could fix right now. He cleaned each cup, one by one, so the first sip would be pure. He wiped the counter until it looked clear and ready. He set the tools in straight lines so he could reach them fast. He checked the water and tightened the lid on the kettle. He moved the trash bin closer so the space would stay tidy. The traveler watched in silence and saw the care take shape. The street did not change, but the cart did. The work felt different because the steps were clear. He looked up at the messy board again. It was time to write clear words people could trust next. He reached for the same board he had just stared at. He wiped off the old marks and wrote clear words people could trust. Fresh water, clean cups, exact change. Short lines that anyone could read while walking. He hung the board where eyes land first. Now, the cart explained itself without him speaking. The traveler read the lines and stayed a little longer. The seller felt lighter because a promise guides the work. He checked the cups and the kettle one more time. The next step was to make each order personal, so no one would feel lost at the counter. He asked each person for their name. He wrote the name on the lid so the cup would not get mixed. He said the order back to them in simple words. He placed the finished lid in a clear row on the ledge. People watched their name appear and felt calm. Travelers saw how a small step reduced mistakes. The line could move without confusion or raised voices. The cart now explained itself, and the service felt personal. He looked at the kettle and thought about taste next. He prepared a small extra that could make the tea brighter. He also planned a way to keep the counter clean all day. That is where the next change would begin. He added lemon and mint so anyone could choose a fresher taste. He kept them beside the kettle so service would stay fast. He said, "You can add a slice if you like," in a clear, calm voice. He placed a clean napkin stack where any hand could find it. He moved a small bin to the front so trash had a place to go. He wiped the counter again to set a clean baseline. He poured a small cup with a thin lemon slice for the traveler. The traveler tasted it and gave a small nod. The cart now showed care in small details, not only in words. He wanted to hear what else people wanted. For that, he would need a simple way to collect requests. He reached for a small notebook and set it on the counter. He opened the notebook so anyone could write a request. He wrote the heading "Ideas" to show the purpose. He asked the traveler to write the first line. The traveler wrote, "Extra ginger." A second person added, "Less sugar." A third note said, "More foam." He set a simple rule, short lines that he could use today. He read each line back so people knew he understood. He copied the three requests onto a small slip near his hand. He chose to test them at the very next order. Here, thank the people who wrote. Then he reached for the kettle to put the first idea into action. He put safety where everyone could see it. The water sat in a clear container with a tight lid. The label said, "Clean water," so no one had to guess. He set it right beside the cups, so the promise felt real. He opened a small umbrella, so waiting felt easy. People stood in the shade and relaxed their shoulders. They watched him serve by name and by number. The line moved with steady steps. The traveler glanced up at the sign and smiled. Trust began to feel normal at this corner. He wiped the counter once more and looked at the queue. Tomorrow would show if people came back again. People returned earlier than before. The traveler came back and ordered 2 cups. The seller wrote the names and checked the notes. He poured, he labeled, and he placed the cups in order. The traveler watched the clear steps and felt at ease. He looked at the promise sign on the cart. He asked, "What will you improve next week?" The seller smiled and nodded. He already had a few simple ideas ready. He planned to change one thing at a time. He wanted each change to be easy to see. The day moved forward and the corner stayed calm. He watched the traveler blend back into the street with 2 warm cups. He looked at the board and read the 3 promises again. He saw the clean lids, the tidy tools, and the clear water in view. Each piece was small, but together they changed the corner. People felt calm because they could see how service worked. He decided to keep one new change each week, easy to notice and easy to repeat. He would write it down, test it, and keep it if it helped. He would keep speaking names, using tokens, and staying early. He would keep the counter clean and the choices simple. This is the lesson. Do not fix the drink only. Fix the whole experience. When care is clear and steady, people return and tell others. The cart stayed ready, and the day moved forward with quiet confidence.